or you're going to have a problem, because we may not be able to provide you with 80 to 85%, or even down to 70 or 65%. That's
Yeah. No, I was just, once again, I was looking for the article that I pretty sure I sent you, and they were talking about this very thing in Lake Sonoma and Lake, was it Pillsbury? Is it? The situation is just so incredibly dire up there.
right.
You know, they're telling local agriculture, which sustains and supports Sonoma County's economy, all the wineries, I mean,
Right.
they're facing potential disaster. And when you think about what Novato did, it just kind of goes back
That's
again to like,
right.
how does Sonoma, how do they deal with this town, and how deeply are they obligated to Novato? I mean, can they throw up their hands next year and just say, forget it? We can't.
Yes, they can.
They
They
can.
can. Yeah. So all the riparian water rights, you know, they can just say, well, sorry, and you're at the tail end of the supply line, so we're very sorry, but you're going to have to go elsewhere. That's why I looked this morning at the newspaper, and I see the board member from Marin Municipal talking about doing this and that. And if I were on that board and I was on North Marin Water District's board, I'd put out an invitation. Hey, why don't we have a joint Zoom meeting? Why don't we try and work something out between us? And for instance, North Marin could say, we've got this wonderful AMI setup, and we're saving water hand over fist because we're able to get to the leaks faster. And here's what we did. And Municipal turns around and says, hey, maybe we can get some Prop 1 money, which was approved in 2014 and still has $1.5 billion out there. And try and put in, it'll cost them $20 million to put in an AMI setup, but they will be able to act on leakage on the customer side.
Well, for the people who don't know, and me as well, need reminding, the AMI is
well, it's the same setup that PG&E has. It's wireless meter reading.
Oh.
It can be it's a radio transceiver that broadcasts from the meter box to what's called a repeater, and the repeater shuttles it off to the business office, and it can be checked within every hour. You can check it 4 times.
Yeah. And
the time involved in getting the read to the repeater to the office is about 1/20th of a second. It's very quick.
Yeah. Well,
and I got to hand it to Novato for putting that in. It was the right way to go. Marin Municipal did not do that, and why they didn't do it, I don't know.
well, maybe it has to do with the my friends who are concerned about Wi-Fi and electromagnetic fields, et cetera, in near their homes. Perhaps that has something to do with it. I'm not.
Well, and those might be the same people that are asking for broadband. And broadband is a constant transmission. Now, the metering, when it's consulted, it goes back to sleep mode. Because if you had it on all the time, you'd be changing your batteries about every 6 months. So it's all it knows is on for a 20th of a second, off, and in sleep mode.
Yeah. Well, I do think that if we we could look on the long haul for down a few generations, as we read the stories about people moving back to Texas or North Carolina or whatever, or escaping California. I, it doesn't sadden me, really. It doesn't. I always wish people, I wish the best people, whoever that might be, I don't know what that means, to be here in California, and people who love the state and
Right.
and who will stand up for it. That's what I would like, and defend it
Sure.
against being bullied and rolled over by developers as we've been for 50 years. I think we could have a very beautiful future potentially.
Well,
If we,
3 years ago,
yeah,
developers had the whip hand
yeah,
because of all the fires in the state.
right,
When you went to rebuild your house up in Santa Rosa, that contractor would not work the area unless the whole, let's say you had a court of houses, maybe 6 or 7 houses, you'd have to sign up with him as a group in order to get him to come up. And, developers had it real good for about a year and a half.
yeah. I don't know. I think the quality of life in California is, I think it's hard to say that it has improved in 50 years. I would question wherever you are if you really can get away with saying that. And one of the elements that I think is important is how we've been taken by, that we have to go this big development route, which, I guess we're a kind of it's capital rules things. That's the way we've gone. But I do feel like if we wanted to carve out a sustainable future, that the developments that we've known in the past should not be part of the future for California. We need to think really different, really different.
Case in point,
Yeah.
Golden Gate Village. Okay, the folks that have been there forever, it's affordable housing. Now, all of a sudden, there's talk of there being more than affordable housing, market rate housing. And as far as I'm concerned, you have had that as affordable housing forever, and that should be kept as the form of housing. Why would you all of a sudden put market rate housing in there when you're trying to so-called build affordable housing in the state? Why would you have less? That makes no sense.
Where is the Golden Gate Village?
It's the Frank Lloyd Wright. It's like a project that has about, I'm going to say 1,200 folks in there, and I believe 900 of them are African American, and there's a hodgepodge of all different ones.
Are we talking about Marin City?
Marin City, right?
Oh, okay. You're talking about Marin City,
right?
So tell me again. So what's going on there is that it's now going to be. It was affordable housing, and they're going to allow it to be market driven.
Well, it's being driven by HUD, and HUD can't see for the life of them having the entire project being affordable housing. If it's been affordable housing for 60 years, what's the difference? We've had Republicans, we've had Democrats, and all that. Fix the housing, let the people take Section 8 vouchers until it gets fixed or completely rebuilt, and then let them come back and let them buy. That's at an affordable rate.
All right. Well, it's a subject that
Yeah,
probably
that's
needs some
off the water.
examination. I don't know too much about it there,
Right.
but it could be an interesting subject for further talk.
Sure.
So, wrapping it up here at the end of June in California, Rick, LA, Mendocino, Marin, we're all kind of feeling the crunch, but we don't, we're about to agriculture's the bleep is about to hit the fan with agriculture this summer,
Right.
wouldn't you say?
Right. And the last, let's see, 2017 to 2018,
Yeah.
agriculture took a 2.87 billion hit.
Wow.
But this time it's way worse
Yeah.
because a lot of people are going to have to let their land go fallow. And you're going to have a lot less land under cultivation. And sure, people say, okay, we won't grow alfalfa or we
Almonds.
won't almonds or whatever. But it's still going to be a hit, and that'll be higher prices to the customers and all that. So it's just, I don't know. I told my wife the other day, I said, I wish I had gotten wine futures for 2020 and 2021 and 22, because some of the best wines that California produced in the last 40 or 45 years have been during those drought cycles. Because you put the grapes under a certain amount of stress, and you'll get some fantastic wines. You won't get the amount of wine per acre that you would if you had the water to really do a number on it.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you could get that beautiful, unsurpassed $100 bottle of wine.
There you go.
But you might have about, how many wineries might be facing bankruptcy?
A lot of them.
Yeah. So probably overall, not the best thing.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not at all.
And of course, the impact, the ripple effect of what it will do to all the employees, the immigrant population,
Sure.
who will likely, maybe by August or September, might not have jobs in the industry. A very interesting turmoil.
Right.
And then at the border is more porous than ever, and I'm not sure where these people are washing up who are coming through, but reports are that there are, it's been a tremendous amount over this past springtime and in the new
administration. You're talking since March, 500,000 people over all the borders. So, and a lot of them are being shipped, if they've got relatives somewhere else, they go there. But a lot of them are being shipped to Maine, to Tennessee, and with no relatives, and they're just dumped. So, but that's another subject for another day.
Another subject. Everything is connected, but that's another subject. And those people will need water, and those people will be. I don't know. Yeah, it's fascinating. Well, let's see. Is there anything else we can dig in to wrap this up? So I think I've let this go over the half-hour time because why not?
Yeah. Well, I'm reminded of Moses and his rod, and Moses going over and hitting the rocks with the rod, and
the water.
Out comes the water.
Wow.
So unless we get something like that, it's going to get way worse.
Yeah, this is a period of time. This is really where humans are coming up against an outdated way of thinking. If you all want to get all the woke folks involved, all this animosity and anger against our ignorant ancestors whatever. Okay, fine. But let's
Yeah.
go ahead and make a more civilized civilization then. Okay.
Right.
If you didn't like all this bleep that took place, let's slow it down and have that's what I say personally.
Right.
That's my thing.
Right.
That's
Right.
all right. Well, Rick, I appreciate you sharing your insight and your knowledge. And
Right.
I'm hoping to do this again with you. If not next week, but maybe following. I think maybe we should do it again next week, just 'cause I think there's so many different elements of what we can keep talking about that
Yeah.
it's fascinating. So
Absolutely.
yeah. All right. Thanks a bunch.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
rest
guys.
of the day. All right, Rick.
You too.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.